Facebook Live.
She's trying to. I have no
No,
idea.
mira, let me show you. It's simple. ¿A dónde estás? Go to status.
Okay.
Just because you don't have it yet.
Oh,
No.
he hasn't updated it yet?
No,
I
¿qué
do.
es eso? There you go.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Ponle ahí lo que es y luego, oh, perfect, there you go.
Yeah, okay.
Are we being too loud?
No, I was just gonna get a
Because
picture.
we're Latinos and we do that a lot. That's something we can't control. We're just loud. Right? It's the truth.
Sad, but it's the truth. I don't know if it's only two Latinos though.
Yeah.
Go live, okay. Okay. Otra aventura.
He's testing it. He don't know yet.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Maybe you can adjust it with all the men.
I don't know how to do it. You got
Which
it going.
camera do you want to use?
Mm.
Maybe if it was turned the other way, like her phone, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, it'll do it.
That tripod can be extended
Yeah, everything
under.
There you go. How'd you do that?
Okay.
There you go.
Okay. You are listening to the Hispanic Window Show
With Laura Miranda.
and Unai Rodriguez,
Hi.
our special guest.
Thank you for coming back.
Luz Elena
Elena
Rivers.
Rivers.
Thank you for
Voice.
having me.
From the Voice of Support, La Voz de Apoyo.
De apoyo.
Me gusta. I like that.
Good show, but you have too many fans. Many
Not like you?
followers.
Not like you? You have more.
No. No, you are more good. Brother, you have more time with the locally. And
Yes.
people can hear you. 200 miles.
Yeah, that's what
Around
it is. I
Houston.
think locally, we range very far, 200 miles, but the Bridge of Light here with the Hispanic Window Show captures Centro America, Sudamerica, Mexico. I mean, like, wow.
Spain.
It's online.
And we have some people that are already checking in, right? From
Yep.
Centro America
In
saying
Centro America,
hello.
yeah, to
So,
you.
to
And-
me, wow, hello Centro America. El Salvador,
It's contagious,
Mexico.
laughing, smile, and the
Yeah,
voice
the
is
laughter.
beautiful.
Yes, and I see that there's a lot of
Don't be
brothers and
jealous.
sisters that, don't
You're
be jealous, Laura. Today is
Okay.
it's just for 40
My time
more
will
minutes.
Okay, Dr. Elena, tell me about your organization. The first is with, tell me about your show, and then about your organization that you support Hispanic women in leadership.
Absolutely. Well, first on the radio, what I could tell you about the radio is that it was a beautiful coincidence. Sometimes when the calling is there and you follow that message, it leads to something so beautiful. And that's exactly what happened to me in 2009 when I was invited to a local radio here in Houston to speak on behalf of what we do in our business, which is medical transportation. So when I went on the radio and the lines lit up and everybody was asking questions that I happened to know a little bit about, what occurred is a lot of information was being shared by me. And so when I left, they asked me to come back and again share more information. I realized at that moment that there was so much need for information in the community. I realized that a lot of people did not know where to get those resources. So they called me back again for 3 weeks in a row, and that was it. And so back in 2000, and then in 2011, I had an opportunity to co-host a TV program. And from there, it led to the radio, and here we are today. So sometimes it's just what I called following your calling. And when you follow your calling and there's a purpose with it, the rest just
Will fall in place.
will fall in place. And here we are today. So that's the blessing of the radio program.
Oh, so that's the way you started on radio. You've been
That is
involved
the
with
way I
that.
started in radio.
Oh, wow.
That is the way. And you know what? That it's not about Luz Elena. It's not about Luz Elena just being on the radio. It's about networking. It all starts, and so I always tell people that want to, if they have a service or a product, to get involved with networking. The power of networking is amazing because it's just not helpful for you as an individual. that is starting a career or a business, but it's also helpful for when you speak to someone that you can share that information with. So that's how it all started, and here we are years later on Univision, right around the corner from here.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that is true.
But you told me about the opportunity. And when did you discover you want to make a radio?
When did I discover to do that? I don't remember the exact time, but I know this, Ellie. I know that when the co-host that I was with, he would start the show, and I would just kind of like shy away from it and get on the radio. One day he just stayed quiet, and I had to talk, and so my heart started beating. But here's the beauty of it. And a lot of people get nervous, and a lot of people, when there's an opportunity, they walk away from that opportunity because they're too nervous. That's when you grow. When you face that challenge and you're right there and you face it and you don't shy away from it, you grow. And I grew. That moment I said, you know what? I did not realize that because he put me in that situation which was out of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
I grew. And then I went home and I said, maybe I can do this by myself.
Wow.
And you know what? And that's just not radio. Anytime that you are faced with a challenge, you have to ask yourself, am I willing to overcome this challenge to see what's on the other side? And you know what? A lot of people say, I just don't have it. I can't, I won't, it's too scary. I don't know. I'm not qualified. I sound like Joel Osteen. I just caught myself. But I'm not Joel Osteen. But you know what? But fear, I always say this to people when I speak in public, fear is just false evidence appearing real. So if you just remember that it's just a false feeling, and that if you overcome that, you grow, my gosh, the sky is the limit. And here I am, who would have thought? A logo with Luz Elena, the voice of support. I'm here in the Hispanic Window Show. I would never be at the Hispanic Window Show if I didn't have my own radio program. So look how far I've come. And there's more to come. But the idea and the goal is not so much about, Luz Elena being a radio personality. It's so much for that young woman who's watching me, either on Facebook or listening on the radio, and saying, she makes me want to follow my dreams. Yeah, that's the point. Follow your dreams. Because I didn't study journalism. My degree is psychology. So
wow.
My degree is so different. And so here I am.
But you still can put it to use.
And you can still put it to use, absolutely, in anything. You can. But people study communications, and they study journalism and media, even media, which leads me to the next question you asked about Hispanic women in leadership. I'm now a member, because I'm so busy, I'm now a member, but I absolutely love the Hispanic Women in Leadership organization. It's an organization I'm proud to say is the only Latina organization in the city of Houston. And there's a lot of organizations that are for women, but Latina with the heart of the Latina, only the Hispanic Women in Leadership. And it has over, 28 years, more than 28 years in the existence. And it started in 1988, again, by 20 courageous women who got together and did the first conference, women's conference, and it was a success. And here we are 28 years later, hello, with over more than 400 members. And so, and I was at the time, I was a director of public relations. I said, wow, that's perfect for me. I like taking selfies. I'll start taking selfies with everybody else. So it was a perfect platform. But I have a business that I have to focus on. So I am focusing more on the business, but I'm supporting with all my heart and everything I can in my connections to the Hispanic Women in Leadership, which I hope that they're joining us on Facebook. And I hope that the women that are watching us on Facebook can join the Hispanic Women in Leadership, because it is an organization that believes in the empowering of the women and, helping raise that woman to become a successful. They start at a very young age. I mean, they're having talks at high schools, because you have to start them young. Young girls, you have to start them young. And speaking of that, I don't have it all together, and I never did have it all together. I dropped out of high school because I got pregnant at the age of 16. Now, a lot of people know my story. First of all, I came here.
I didn't.
You didn't? Now you know. Drop out high school, pregnant at the age of 16. My daughter's now 24, and came to this country undocumented. by the choice of my mother, my courageous mother, which I hope she's watching.
Hi, Mom.
Mom, you better be watching and supporting.
This is live.
This is live, Mom. So check me out. I made it live.
Look what you did, Mom.
Look what you did. We're here. But my mother, a young woman, had made a decision of bringing her daughters from Colombia to Central America, Mexico, crossing the border. This is in the 1980s. And we got here and I didn't speak English.
Wow.
We didn't have papers.
We couldn't tell.
Right, my husband can, because he says, wow, your English is sometimes really bad. But that's him. I don't believe it, but and so we come here and of course my mother doesn't speak English and my mother is trying to find a job. When you don't have papers, you're under a shadow.
Yes.
Exactly.
And you know what? And my mom was a hairdresser in Colombia, a very successful hairdresser. And here she is doing whatever she can to be able to support her daughters. And for that reason, and not knowing a lot of things around here, we move from state to state, city to city. So I'm not proud to say this, but it's the truth. I went to 22 schools in my life. That's not including college.
Oh my goodness.
So college aside.
College aside, 22 schools.
Okay.
So imagine a young girl without speaking English, starting school in a brand new state or city, and here you are, you become bullied. And
Yes.
that's what happened to me.
Yes.
I became bullied because, hey, who is she? I don't know, blah, 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 da, da, da. She's quiet, she's conceited, she's this. And I was none of that. I was shy and
You just
scared.
did not know the language.
You would not believe that I was shy if like I'm talking right
Never.
now. Yeah, I'm making up for that.
Yes, you are.
I'm making up for that every day of my life. So here I am today. So I absolutely tell the young girls, don't give me an excuse. Don't give
Been
me-
there, done that.
Been there, done it.
You
Come
can
on.
overcome it, come on.
And let me tell you, I don't want to talk about politics, but what Hillary Clinton just did a couple of days ago is prove to women, besides politics, let's not talk about politics, but what the woman did was she allowed everybody to see that this is a country of opportunity, number one, and that you can become president of the United States if you really want it.
Yeah. Yep.
When she broke that the glass ceiling, I had chills.
Yeah.
I shared that on Facebook. I was like a little girl, like, hey, she can do it, I can do it. I can be the next president of the United States. But it's a feeling that she left at me that I want to leave for others, for my children. And that's how we have to do. That's basically the responsibility that we have. So now that these elections are happening, we cannot forget. We cannot forget where we come from.
Exactly. And when
That was very inspiring.
yeah, inspiring.
It was.
It
It is.
Latinas and Hispanic women, and when you was talking about your past and you feel proud that and you do not try to hide that past, because it's very important to bring all those memory to our present. You're not the only one. I remember I interviewed one of the women, she's Chef Marcela, and in several times in the interview, she repeats saying, I had the past. I had the past, but then I went to the college and I finished my degree. But the past, we have a past. All the people have
Everybody
a
has a
past.
past. Everybody has a past. And speaking of past, let me take you to a moment where I used to say my name is Elena. And you know what? My name is Luz Elena.
That's
And
right.
just recently, I started telling people, not Elena, Luz Elena. You know why I did that? Because when I was a little girl, people would say, what's Luz? Isn't that light? So your mom named you light? Ah, ha, ha, ha. So again, bullying.
Oh yeah.
So, ah, ha, ha, your name is Luz. That's light, which is really true.
Yeah.
But the name is Luz Elena. And, or I didn't say, my mom, I wouldn't say where my mom worked, or I wouldn't say a lot about my past because I was embarrassed. But you know what? When you get older and you go into
You
your
become
40s,
wiser.
you become wiser, and you also say, you know what? I was supposed to have that story. I was supposed to go through that. Because that's my story to share for the next person.
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
supposed to. When we have a lot of shortcomings or we go through traumas in our lives, sometimes we sit there and we say, why me? Why me? Why did this happen to me? I'm a good person. I don't deserve this. But you know what? You're supposed to go through that.
That's right.
Because that's going to help you grow. And in addition to that, your story is going to be the story that's going to help the next person. So embrace it.
Yes, indeed.
Embrace it. Embrace. I love it that I say that I'm undocumented because I'm proud to say that I came from Colombia here and I have a business. You know why? We were talking about that, Eli, how many professional people from Centro America and Mexico, professors, maestros,
yes.
vienen acá, they come here and they say, okay, I'm in the United States, I have a degree in my country, but I'm gonna have to go be a janitor over there because I need a job. What if we bridge an opportunity when they come in, we can embrace them and we can show them, you can show them the ropes and we can show them the networking, we can show them the organizations that are available to them. And so they don't have to do that. So they do have an opportunity to come in here and find out where the organizations, because if we knew that, we would have done this a long time ago, but we don't. So we don't know it, and therefore if you don't know it, you have to wait until it happens or it comes across, and that's difficult. So we have to help those who are here with a degree, because they are. Those teachers that are here, or engineers that are here, they have so much information, so much knowledge. I know engineers that are engineers in Centro America, Mexico, Colombia, and they come here and they're not practicing that.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not. And they're here, and sometimes they even give up.
Yes.
They even give up, and I'm like, okay, well, you know what? We can help them. There's organizations out there, Cámara de Empresarios Centroamericana.
Yes.
They love helping people like that, and so I'm all about that. I'm all about opportunity. Go look for this, go look for that. The Hispanic Women in Leadership is connected with the community as far as resources. You know, mentorship.
How does that work?
Well, the way that it works is, first of all, they raise funds for educational scholarships. Okay, and let me tell you that it's very smart of the Hispanic Women in Leadership, not just to do it, but to empower the women, because we had a luncheon, and we've had important women, keynote speakers at our luncheons, from Cecilia Abbott, the governor's wife.
Mm-hmm.
She's Latina.
Oh, wow.
You know, we've had her.
Oh, yeah.
You know, exactly. And so when she comes and she says, you know, I'm the governor's wife, that's true, but let me tell you who I am. I have a master's degree. I am also Latina. You know, when you see that and you're like, oh my God, that's beautiful, then there comes a young girl who comes out of high school and says, okay, my parents can't afford college. They can't afford college, and I want to go to college. I don't know what to do. So, but at least if we can give them some